Hello, my good friends. How are you today? May God bless you all. I will not introduce anything. You guys watch the video and feel it, then let's evaluate together. The boardroom at Apex Pulse in Buckhead was a cathedral of glass and steel. Atlanta's skyline glaring through the floor-to-ceiling windows like a jury ready to pass judgment. The air stank of expensive cologne, burnt coffee, and betrayal. Zara Thompson stood dead center, her curls bouncing loose around her face, her thrift store blouse a quiet fuck you to the room's parade of designer egos. Her hands were steady, but her heart was a drumline pounding so loud she swore everyone could hear it. Across the polished mahogany table, Tamia Foster leaned back in her chair. Arms crossed her glossy lips, twisted into a smirk, sharp enough to cut glass. "You're a damn snake, Zara." Tamia spat, her voice echoing off the walls. "Acting all innocent, I'm just a humble analyst, while screwing us over with stolen data. Admit it." The room went still. 24 pairs of eyes, executives, analysts, interns, swiveled to Zara. Dylan Harper slouched beside. Tamia chuckled low, his tie loose like he was already halfway to happy hour. Chloe and Gwen, phone in hand, was probably live streaming the whole thing to TikTok, her manicured nails tapping the screen. Even the CEO's assistant, a mousy guy named Greg, froze mid-sip of his iced latte, waiting for Zara to crack. Zara didn't flinch. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a sleek black USB drive, and tossed it onto the table. It landed with a soft clink right in front of Tamia. "This," Zara said, her voice low but steady, "proves you're the liar, Tamia. Your numbers were garbage, and I caught you red-handed trying to pin it on me. Want to keep running your mouth, or should I let the data do the talking?" A gasp rippled through the room. Tamia's smirk faltered, her eyes darting to the USB like it was a live grenade. Dylan stopped laughing. Chloe's phone tilted, her jaw dropping. Noah Bennett, the millionaire investor from EcoSpark, leaned forward in his seat, his sharp jaw tensing. His dark eyes locked on Zara, a mix of surprise and something else, admiration maybe flickering in them. He'd been quiet all meeting, but now he looked like he was seeing her for the first time. Tamia opened her mouth to fire back, but before she could, the boardroom doors swung open with a dramatic whoosh. Every head turned. In walked Lillian Thompson, a vision in a tailored Dior suit. Her silver-streaked braids pulled into an elegant bun, her presence sucking the oxygen out of the room. The click of her Louboutin heels was a metronome of power. Greg's latte hit the table, spilling everywhere. "My daughter Lillian," said, her voice smooth as bourbon, but cold as ice, "doesn't need to steal. Zara Thompson is the heir to Thompson Enterprises. She could buy this company with her pocket change." The room exploded into whispers. Thompson Enterprises, the real estate empire. Wait. Zara's rich. Noah's eyes widened, his cool exterior cracking for a split second. Tamia's face drained of color, her manicured hands gripping the table. Chloe's phone clattered to the floor, her live stream forgotten. Dylan muttered, "What the actual fuck?" Zara's calm shattered. She spun toward her mother, her voice a furious hiss. "Mama, what the hell? I told you to stay out of this. I'm handling it." Her fists clenched, her cheap sneakers squeaking as she stormed past Lillian, past the stunned executives and out the door. The glass doors slammed shut behind her, the sound echoing like a gavel. The screen faded to black, bold white text flashing across it. How did a secret millionaire end up in this shitstorm? Rewind 3 months to find out. 3 months earlier, the Midtown Ballroom was a glittering sea of wealth and ambition, chandeliers casting golden light over Atlanta's elite as they sipped overpriced cocktails and pretended to care about charity. The gala was for some clean energy fund, but most people were there to network, flex, or both. Zara Thompson didn't belong here. Not really. She'd only come because her mother Lillian insisted it was good for the family image. So here she was, in a second-hand black dress that screamed, "I don't care," sipping a mojito and counting the minutes until she could escape. Zara wasn't like the other heiresses in the room dripping in Gucci and gossip. She didn't want to be. For 32 years, she'd been Lillian Thompson's daughter, the princess of Thompson Enterprises, a real estate empire that owned half of Atlanta's skyline. But Zara was done living in that shadow. 6 months ago, she'd ditched the penthouse, the chauffeurs, the whole damn lifestyle, and taken a job as a data analyst at Apex Pulse. Why? To prove she could make it on her own. To earn respect, not inherit it. To be Zara, not the Thompson heir. So far, it wasn't going great. The job was fine. She was damn good at it, spotting trends in spreadsheets like a psychic reading tarot cards. But her co-workers, they treated her like a punchline. Her thrift store clothes, her homemade lunches, her refusal to kiss ass. It all made her a target. Still, she wasn't here to make friends. She was here to build something real. At the gala, she stood by a potted palm, trying to blend into the wallpaper when disaster struck. She turned too fast, and her mojito splashed across the pristine white shirt of a tall, broad-shouldered man with a jawline that could cut glass. His dark eyes widened as the green liquid soaked his tailored vest. "Oh, shit," Zara yelped, grabbing napkins from a nearby table. "I'm so sorry. I suck at this bougie crap." She dabbed at his shirt, making it worse, her face burning. The man laughed a deep, warm sound that caught her off guard. "You're a walking hazard," he said, his southern drawl laced with amusement. "But I'll let it slide if you tell me your name." Zara froze, napkins in hand. He was hot, like stupidly hot. Dark hair, a little gray at the temples, a smile that felt like trouble. But she wasn't here to flirt with rich guys. "Zara," she said, keeping it short. "And you are Noah Bennett." He grinned, unbothered by his ruined shirt. "Eco Spark. You owe me a new suit, Zara, but I'll settle for a coffee sometime." Eco Spark. She knew that name. Green tech, big money. This guy was a millionaire, maybe more. Her stomach twisted. Guys like him were her mother's crowd, not hers. "Yeah, sure," she mumbled, already backing away. "Gotta go. Sorry again." She bolted before he could say more, her sneakers squeaking on the marble floor. The Apex Pulse office in Buckhead was a sleek, open-plan nightmare, all glass walls and fake plants, the air thick with ego and burnt coffee. Zara's desk, tucked in the corner by a window, was her sanctuary. Post-its lined her monitor, her pens arranged like soldiers. She liked order. It kept her sane when Tamia Dillon and Chloe turned the bullpen into a high school mean girl reboot. Tamia was the ringleader, a former pageant queen, with a smile like a shark and a knack for making Zara's life hell. Dillon was her sidekick, a frat boy type who thought name-dropping was a personality. Chloe, the youngest, was glued to her phone, filming everything for her 10K TikTok followers. They hated Zara's vibe, her cheap cardigans, her Tupperware lunches, her quiet competence. To them, she was a nobody, and they made sure she knew it. One Monday, Zara was eating a peanut butter sandwich at her desk, earbuds blasting SZA's Good Days, when Chloe leaned over. "Yo, Zara, who the hell eats that in 2025? She said loud enough for the whole floor to hear. She snapped a video, giggling. Hashtag basic bitch vibes. Dillon snorted. "What's next, spam? You shopping at the dollar store now?" Tamia, filing her nails, didn't look up. "Girl, you're giving thrift store a bad name." Zara's face burned, but she didn't bite. She'd learned early that reacting only made it worse. "I'm here to work," she told herself, popping out an earbud. "Not to fight these idiots." She turned to her spreadsheet, diving into numbers like they were a lifeboat. Data didn't judge. Data didn't laugh. But the jabs kept coming. A post-it on her monitor read, "Upgrade your wardrobe tea." Someone accidentally spilled iced coffee on her notepad. Zara took it in stride, or tried to. She wasn't here to win a popularity contest. She was here to prove she could stand on her own, without her mother's name or money. Some days, though, that felt like a losing battle. A week after the gala, Zara was at her desk untangling a messy client data set when the elevator dinged. Out stepped Noah Bennett, looking like he'd walked off a GQ cover navy suit, no tie, a grin that spelled trouble. The bullpen went quiet, heads turning. Noah wasn't just an investor. He was a presence, the kind of guy who made people sit up straighter. Zara's stomach dropped. What's he doing here? She ducked behind her monitor, but Noah spotted her weaving through the desks like a man on a mission. "Zara," he called loud enough to make her cringe. "You owe me that coffee." Every eye in the room was on her. Tamia's brows shot up. Chloe's phone was already out filming. Zara forced a smile, her voice tight. Busy right now, Noah. Maybe later." "Nope. I'm persistent," he said, leaning against her desk. "Also, your printer's acting up. Want me to take a look?" She blinked. "You fix printers?" He shrugged, already popping open the machine. "I'm a man of many talents." 2 minutes later, he was covered in toner, cursing under his breath as ink splattered his shirt. "Damn, Zara. You're gonna bankrupt me with these wardrobe disasters." Zara couldn't help it. She laughed loud and reeled, drawing stares. For a second, the bullpen's venom faded, and it was just her and Noah grinning like idiots. But the moment passed, and she saw Tamia's glare, Chloe's smirk. This wasn't over. The next Friday, Apex Pulse held a big meeting to review a client campaign. Zara had spent days cleaning up the data, spotting a flaw in the targeting model that could have cost millions. She emailed her fixes to Tamia, who was presenting expecting a nod, maybe a thanks. Instead, Tamia botched the whole thing, presenting wrong numbers that tanked the pitch. When the client rep called it out, Tamia didn't miss a beat. "That's on Zara," she said, tossing her hair. "She sent me the data. Guess she's not as smart as she thinks." The room turned to Zara, waiting for her to fold. Greg slurped his latte. Chloe zoomed in with her phone. Noah in the back frowned, his eyes narrowing. Zara's pulse raced. She'd taken enough shit. Not today. She stood, her voice steady. "Tamia, your numbers are straight up bullshit. I fixed them and emailed you the right ones 2 days ago. Check your inbox unless you're too busy perfecting your contour." She clicked her laptop, projecting her corrected report on the screen. The client rep nodded, impressed. "That's more like it." Tamia's face went red, her comeback dying in her throat. Dylan coughed awkwardly. Chloe lowered her phone. Noah's lips twitched like he was fighting a grin. The Skepa gruff guy named Carl clapped. "Thompson, you're a damn star. Keep it up." Zara sat down, her hands shaking under the table. She'd won, but at what cost? Tamia's glare promised war. Chloe was probably already editing the video. And Noah. Why was he looking at her like she'd just hung the moon? As she left the room, her phone buzzed. A text from Lillian. "We need to talk about your job. This isn't you." Zara ignored it, stepping into the elevator. She'd started something today, and there was no going back. But as the doors closed, she couldn't shake the feeling that her carefully built world was about to implode. Yo, y'all. Zara's secret just turned this office upside down. That boardroom blow-up, only the beginning. Smash that subscribe button and drop a comment. What would you do if your mom crashed your undercover life like Lillian did? Let's dive into part 2 and see how Zara handles the fallout. Hit that bell so you don't miss it. The Apex Pulse office in Buckhead was a pressure cooker the Monday after Zara's boardroom takedown. The glass walls reflected Atlanta's hazy skyline, but inside, the air was thick with whispers and side-eyes. Zara Thompson sat at her corner desk, her earbuds blasting Alicia Keys' "If I Ain't Got You" trying to drown out the buzz. Her post-its were still neatly aligned, her pens in formation, but her sanctuary felt like a war zone now. Last week, she'd called out Tamia Foster's bullshit numbers in front of the whole company, earning a nod from the boss and a grudging respect from the client. But the real bombshell wasn't her data skills. It was her mother, Lillian Thompson, storming in like a queen and outing Zara as the heir to Thompson Enterprises. Overnight, Zara went from that quiet analyst in the cheap cardigan to secret millionaire playing poor. And her co-workers, they weren't exactly throwing her a parade. Zara's phone buzzed a text from her best friend, Keisha Turner girl. "You a whole-ass heiress and didn't tell me we got beef." Zara smirked, typing back, "Chill K. I'm still me. Come by the office, I need backup." Keisha, who ran a bakery in Midtown, was the only person Zara trusted to keep her grounded. She'd need that today. As Zara opened a spreadsheet, a shadow fell over her desk. Tamia stood there, arms crossed, her glossy ponytail swinging like a weapon. So Tamia said loud enough for the bullpen to hear, "You're a rich bitch now, huh? What's the game, Zara? Slumming it for clout." Zara pulled out an earbud, her voice calm but sharp. "Tamia, I'm just here to work. Unlike you, I don't need drama to feel relevant." Dylan Harper, leaning on a nearby desk, snorted. "Work, girl. You probably got a trust fund bigger than this company. Why you even here playing dress-up in your Goodwill fits?" Chloe, Nguyen never far from her phone, was already filming her giggles, grating like nails on a chalkboard. "Oh my God, this is gold. Hashtag rich girl problems. Spill the tea." "Zara, how much is Mommy's empire worth?" Zara's jaw tightened, but she didn't bite. She'd spent 6 months at Apex Pulse hiding her Thompson Enterprises roots to prove she could make it on her own. She wasn't about to let these clowns ruin it. "Y'all done?" she said, turning back to her screen. "Some of us have actual work to do." Tamia smirked, but her eyes were venomous. "Keep acting all high and mighty, Zara. You're not fooling anyone." She sauntered off Dylan and Chloe, trailing like loyal minions. Zara exhaled, her fingers trembling over the keyboard. She'd won the battle last week, but the war was just starting. By noon, the retaliation hit. Zara returned from a break to find her desk drenched in caramel latte, the sticky mess soaking her notepads, and a client report she'd spent days on. Her Tupperware leftover cornbread and collards from Sunday dinner was dumped in the trash. A post-it stuck to her monitor read, "Go back to your penthouse, T." Zara's chest tightened, not from anger, but from exhaustion. She grabbed paper towels from the break room, cleaning up in silence as heads turned, whispers buzzing like flies. Chloe's phone was out again, filming with a smirk. Monday mood, Zara cleaning up her own mess. Hashtag office maid. Zara bit the inside of her cheek hard enough to taste copper. She wanted to scream, to throw the soggy towels in Chloe's face, but that's what they wanted. A reaction. A crack in her armor. "I'm here to build something real," she told herself, scrubbing harder. Not to play their game. But when she opened her laptop, the client report was gone, deleted from the shared drive. Her heart sank. That was Tamia's doing, no question. Zara could rebuild it, but it'd take hours, maybe days. She leaned back, staring at the Atlanta skyline through the window, the city's gleam mocking her. For a second, she wondered if her mother was right. Maybe this job was beneath her. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Lillian, "Call me. This nonsense needs to end." Zara ignored it, shoving the phone in her drawer. She wasn't ready to face her mother's "I told you so" lecture. Not yet. Keisha's bakery, Sweet Heat, was a slice of heaven in Midtown, all pink tiles and the warm scent of brown sugar and cinnamon. By 6 p.m., Zara was slumped in a booth, a half-eaten peach cobbler cupcake in front of her, venting to Keisha as the after-work crowd trickled in. "So let me get this straight. Keisha said, wiping flour off her apron, her braids swinging as she leaned on the counter. You're a damn heiress living like you broke getting bullied by some basic-ass co-workers and you didn't tell me, Zara. I'm your girl. We don't keep secrets like that. Zara groaned, picking at the cupcake. I wasn't hiding it to hurt you, Kay. I needed to do this on my own. Prove I'm not just Lillian Thompson's daughter. You know how it is. Everybody sees the money, not me. Keisha softened, sliding into the booth. I get it, Lee. But damn, girl, you picked a hell of a way to prove it. Those fools at your job, they're jealous as shit. You're smart, you're fine, and now they know you're loaded. They're gonna make your life hell. Already started, Zara muttered, telling her about the latte, the post-it, the deleted report. Keisha's eyes narrowed, her voice dropping to a dangerous low. Screw those assholes, Zara. You're a damn queen, money or no money. You need to clap back hard. Show 'em you ain't playing. Zara sighed. I don't want to stoop to their level, Kay. I just want to do my job, earn my place. Keisha rolled her eyes, standing up. Fine, be all noble. But you're going out with that fine-ass investor guy, Noah, right? He's into you and you need some fun. She disappeared behind the counter, returning with a slinky red dress. Try this on. You're not meeting him in that sad-ass cardigan. Zara laughed, but the second she stood in the bakery's tiny bathroom wrestling with the dress disaster struck. The zipper caught, trapping her halfway in. Keisha, she yelled, stumbling out the dress bunched around her waist. I'm stuck, you evil witch. Keisha cackled, grabbing her phone to snap a picture. Oh, this is going viral. #millionaire mess. Zara lunged for the phone, tripping over her own feet and crashing into a display of cupcakes. Frosting smeared her cheek, and Keisha doubled over, tears streaming. Girl, you're a walking disaster. Keisha gasped, helping her up. But you're wearing that dress tonight or I'm disowning you. Noah had texted Zara that morning insisting on dinner to discuss the campaign she'd saved in the meeting. She'd agreed mostly to shut him up, but now, standing outside a riverside restaurant on the Chattahoochee, she felt like a fraud. The red dress hugged her curves, her curls loose and glossy, but her stomach churned. Noah was a millionaire just like her family. What if he saw through her act? What if he knew who she really was? The restaurant was all warm wood and fairy lights, the river glinting under the sunset. Noah was waiting at a corner table, his navy blazer open, a glass of bourbon in hand. His eyes lit up when he saw her, and Zara's breath caught. Damn, he's fine. You clean up nice, Thompson, he said, standing to pull out her chair. Thought you'd show up in sneakers and a hoodie. Shut up, Zara said, grinning despite herself. I can do fancy when I want to. They ordered catfish and cornbread for her ribs for him, and the conversation flowed easier than she expected. Noah talked about growing up in Savannah, his love for Outkast, his mom's fight to break into tech as a black woman. Zara relaxed, sharing her own stories about sneaking to R&B concerts as a teen, dodging her mother's security team. She kept the Thompson Enterprises part locked tight, letting him think she was just a regular analyst. You're real, Zara, Noah said, his voice low, his eyes holding hers. Most people in this city play games. You don't. Her heart skipped, but before she could respond, a shadow fell over the table. Serena Holt, a sleek blonde in a designer jumpsuit, stood there, her smile as fake as her lashes. Noah Bennett. She purred, ignoring Zara. Fancy seeing you here. Slumming it tonight, are we? Zara's stomach dropped. Serena was a venture capitalist, all sharp edges and sharper ambition. She'd been circling Noah for months, and Zara was just collateral damage. Noah's jaw tightened. Serena. I'm busy. Maybe another time. Serena's eyes flicked to Zara, dripping with disdain. Oh, sweetie, you're cute, but Noah plays in a different league. Stick to your little cubicle. She leaned closer, her voice a whisper. Or what you think you're his type. A trust fund princess playing poor Zara froze. How does she know? Her face burned the words, cutting deeper than she'd admit. She stood her chair scraping. "I'm out," she said, voice shaky. "Enjoy your evening, Noah." Zara. Wait, Noah called, but she was already halfway to the door, the river's cool air hitting her like a slap. Serena's laugh followed her, and Zara's eyes stung. She wasn't crying, not yet, but the weight of it all, the office, her mother, her secret, was crushing her. Back at her apartment, a modest one-bedroom she'd rented to keep up her normal act, Zara kicked off the dress and collapsed on the couch. Her phone lit up with a voicemail from Lillian. She hit play, bracing herself. "Zara, this job is embarrassing. Our name," Lillian's voice said, clipped and cold. "You're a Thompson. Act like it. Come to the office tomorrow. We need to discuss your future." Zara deleted the message, her throat tight. She'd left her mother's world to build her own, but now it was falling apart. Tamia's crew was out for blood. Serena knew her secret. Noah probably thought she was a liar, and Lillian was ready to drag her back to the penthouse life she'd fought to escape. She pulled out her earbuds, cueing up Saza's Garden. As the music washed over her, she stared at the ceiling, Atlanta's lights blinking through her window. She'd come too far to quit now, but with her secret out, the game had changed, and Zara wasn't sure she was ready for what came next. The morning sun sliced through the oak trees at Piedmont Park, casting dappled shadows on the jogging path, where Zara Thompson ran, her sneakers pounding the pavement in rhythm with SZA's snooze blasting through her earbuds. Atlanta's skyline peeked over the horizon, all glass and ambition, but Zara's world felt like it was crumbling. After last night's disaster at the Riverside restaurant, Serena Holt's venomous jab about her being a trust fund princess and her own hasty exit, she'd barely slept. Her phone had pinged with texts from Noah Bennett, but she'd ignored them, too raw to deal with his questions or pity. Zara wasn't running from exercise. She was running from herself. 6 months ago, she'd ditched her life as the Thompson Enterprises heiress to prove she could make it on her own at Apex Pulse. But now, with her secret out, her co-workers turning vicious, and her mother, Lillian Thompson, breathing down her neck, the weight of it all was suffocating. Serena's words kept looping in her head. A trust fund princess playing poor. Was that what Noah saw too? Just another rich girl slumming it. She slowed to a stop by a bench, chest heaving, and yanked out her earbuds. The park was alive, dog walkers, kids on scooters, a food truck selling breakfast tacos, but Zara felt alone. She sank onto the bench, staring at her phone. 3 unread texts from Noah. Zara. "We need to talk." Serena was out of line. "I'm sorry. Can you just tell me you're okay?" Before she could decide whether to reply, a shadow fell over her. She looked up, and there was Noah in a gray hoodie and running shorts. His dark eyes locked on her. His hair was damp with sweat, and damn if he didn't look good even at 7 a.m. Zara's heart skipped, but she schooled her face into a neutral mask. "You stalking me now, Bennett?" she said, crossing her arms. Noah grinned, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Nah, just a coincidence. This is my spot. But since you're here..." He sat beside her, close enough that she could smell his cedar cologne mixed with sweat. "You ran out last night like the place was on fire. What's going on, Zara?" She looked away, the skyline blurring as her throat tightened. Nothing. Just didn't feel like dealing with Serena's bullshit. That wasn't nothing. Noah said, his voice low. "Serena's a shark, always has been. But you're not the type to bolt unless something hit deep. Talk to me." Zara's fingers dug into her palms. She wanted to tell him about her mother, her secret, the office, all of it. But the words stuck. What if he thought she was a fraud, just like Serena said? "You don't know me, Noah," she said finally, Not really. He leaned closer, his gaze intense. Then let me. I meant what I said last night, you're real. I don't care what Serena thinks or anyone else, but I need you to be straight with me. Her chest ached. Noah's sincerity was disarming, but the fear of being seen, really seen, held her back. She stood brushing off her leggings. I gotta go. I'll see you around. Zara, he started, but she was already jogging away, her earbuds back in, drowning out his voice. The Apex Pulse office was quieter than usual that Tuesday, but the tension was thicker than Atlanta's summer humidity. Zara kept her head down, diving into a new data set, but the whispers followed her like a bad smell. Tamia, Dylan, and Chloe hadn't let up since the latte incident. A new post-it appeared on her monitor. Back to your mansion, princess. Zara crumpled it, her jaw tight. She wasn't just fighting for her job, now she was fighting for her identity. At lunch, she slipped out to meet Keisha at Sweet Heat, needing her friend's no-nonsense vibe. Keisha was behind the counter, icing cupcakes, her braids tied back with a glittery scrunchie. Girl, you look like you got hit by a truck, Keisha said, sliding a red velvet cupcake across the counter. Spill. What's the tea with you and Mr. Millionaire? Zara groaned, sinking into a stool. It's a mess, Kay. Serena called me out last night, said I'm a fake-ass rich girl. And she's not wrong, I am hiding who I am. Noah's texting me trying to be all sweet, but what if he finds out and thinks I'm playing him? Keisha snorted, licking frosting off her thumb. Screw Serena. She's just mad Noah's into you and not her bougie ass. And Noah, he's got hard eyes for you, Zara. Tell him the truth. Ain't no man worth stressing over if he can't handle the real you. Zara picked at the cupcake, her stomach in knots. It's not just Noah. Mama's on my case saying this job's embarrassing. And work, Tamia's crew is out for blood. I'm trying to prove I can do this on my own, but it's like I'm drowning. Keisha leaned over, her voice firm. Listen, Lee, you're a damn queen, rich or not. You chose this path 'cause you're brave as hell. Don't let those haters or your mama make you forget that. Fight for it. Zara managed a small smile. You're too wise for a cupcake pusher, you know that. Damn right, Keisha said, tossing her a wink. Now go fix shit with Noah before I drag you to his office myself. That evening, Zara was grabbing her bag to leave Apex Pulse when her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Yo, Zara. It's Jaden, Noah's brother. Come to my DJ gig tonight at the Spot in East Atlanta. Noah's moping and you're the cure. 8 p.m. Don't flake. Attached was a flyer for Jaden's summer jam, complete with neon graphics and a promise of epic beats. Zara hesitated. Jaden Caldwell was Noah's younger brother, a DJ and YouTuber with a rep for chaos. She barely knew him, but the idea of Noah moping tugged at her. Screw it, she thought, texting back, fine, I'm in. But if it's whack, I'm blaming you. The Spot was a sweaty, neon-lit club in East Atlanta, packed with 20-somethings dancing to trap beats and sipping overpriced cocktails. Zara in jeans and a black tank top felt out of place, but pushed through the crowd to find Jaden at the DJ booth, his dreads bouncing as he spun a remix of Megan Thee Stallion. He spotted her and waved her over, grinning like a kid. Yo, Zara. Jaden yelled over the music, handing her a mic. You're my VIP tonight. Say something to the crowd. Zara laughed, shaking her head. Hell no, I'm not getting on that mic. But Jaden was relentless, and soon she was shouting, Atlanta, make some noise, to a roaring crowd. It felt good, free, like she could be herself, without the weight of her name or her job. Then, disaster struck. Jaden hyped up, knocked over a speaker, sparking a small fire. The club erupted in chaos, people screaming, drinks spilling. Zara, thinking fast, grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and doused the flames, her tank top now streaked with foam. Jaden stared wide-eyed. Damn, Zara, you're a superhero. My brother's gonna lose his mind when I tell him. Tell him nothing, Zara said, half laughing, half mortified. But as they cleaned up, Jaden turned serious. For real, though, he said, wiping down the booth. Noah's into you like bad. He's been burned before ex-girlfriend did him dirty, so he's scared to trust. But you're different. Don't ghost him, mate. Zara's heart twisted. She nodded, but before she could reply, her phone buzzed. A text from Noah. Heard you saved Jaden's gig. Can we talk? I'm outside. Outside the spot. Noah leaned against his Tesla, the streetlights casting shadows on his face. Zara's pulse raced as she approached, her sneakers crunching on the gravel. You really are stalking me now, she said, trying to keep it light. Noah didn't smile. Zara, I fucked up. I should have shut Serena down harder last night. She's got no right to talk to you like that. But you shutting me out, that's killing me. Zara crossed her arms, the night air cool against her skin. It's not just Serena, Noah. I'm not who you think I am. I've got stuff I'm dealing with, stuff I can't explain yet. Then let me in, he said, stepping closer. My mom was a black woman in tech, Zara. She got shit on every day, called names, passed over. I know what it's like to fight for your place. Whatever you're hiding, I can handle it. His words hit like a punch. Zara's eyes stung, but she held it together. You don't get it, she said, voice breaking. I'm trying to be real, but everyone's waiting for me to fail. Before Noah could respond, a new voice cut through the night. Noah, darling, there you are. Serena Holt strutted up her heels, clicking a smirk on her lips. And Zara, still playing the broke girl act, I see. Zara's blood boiled, but Serena wasn't done. She turned to Noah, her voice dripping with venom. You know she's using you, right? Word is she's been buying Apex Pulse data with her family's money to look good. A little rich girl scheme to impress you. Noah's face hardened, his eyes flicking to Zara. That true, Zara's heart stopped. Are you serious? She said, her voice rising. You think I'm some scheming bitch playing you? Go to hell, Bennett. She turned, tears burning, and stormed off, Serena's laugh echoing behind her. Noah called after her, but she didn't look back. She climbed into an Uber, her hands shaking as she queued up SZA's control. The city lights blurred through the window, and Zara let the tears fall. She'd fought so hard to be seen as more than a Thompson. But now, Noah, the one person she thought saw her, doubted her too. The next morning, Zara sat in her apartment staring at a missed call from Lillian. She didn't call back. Instead, she drove to her mother's office at Thompson Enterprises, a gleaming tower in downtown Atlanta. Lillian was behind her desk, all power and poise, but her eyes softened when she saw Zara. You look tired, baby, Lillian said, gesturing to a chair. This job of yours, it's breaking you. Zara sank into the seat, her voice quiet. I'm not breaking, Mama. I'm trying. You don't get it. You built this empire, but I need to build something for me. Not your name, not your money. Lillian's face tightened, but she nodded. I tried that once, you know. Left my family to start over. I failed, Zara. Came crawling back. I don't want that for you. Zara's throat tightened. She'd never heard her mother admit failure. I'm not you, she said softly. I'm stronger than you think. But I need to do this my way. Lillian sighed, handing her a business card. If you change your mind, call me. You're a Thompson. That's not a curse, it's a gift. Zara pocketed the card, standing. I'll prove it's not the only gift I've got. As she left, her phone buzzed. A text from Keisha. Tamia's talking shit at work. You good? Zara's jaw clenched. Noah's doubt. Serena's lies. Tamia's vendetta. It was too much. But she wasn't done fighting. Not yet. The Apex Pulse office in Buckhead was a snake pit by Wednesday morning. the glass walls reflecting Atlanta's gray, overcast sky like a mirror of Zara Thompson's mood. She sat at her corner desk, earbuds blasting Caesar's Supermodel, trying to focus on a new client data set. But the air was thick with hostility. Her post-its were gone, replaced by a single sticky note on her monitor. "Princess, go home." Zara crumpled it, her jaw tight. She'd been through hell this week. Her secret, as a Thompson Enterprises heiress, exposed Serena Holt's vicious rumors. Noah Bennett's betrayal. But she wasn't breaking. Not yet. The bullpen buzzed with the usual chaos, keyboards clacking, phones pinging. Tamia Foster's sharp laugh cutting through like a blade. Tamia Dylan Harper and Chloe Nguyen had turned their vendetta into a full-time job since Zara's takedown in the boardroom. The latte spill and deleted report were just the start. Yesterday, someone had accidentally unplugged her laptop, wiping an hour's worth of unsaved work. Zara knew it was Tamia's crew, but proving it was another story. She glanced at her phone, hoping for a text from Noah. Nothing. After Serena's lie at the club that Zara was using her family's money to buy Apex Pulse data, Noah's doubt had cut deeper than any office prank. "Are you playing me?" he'd asked, his voice cold. Zara had stormed off, telling him to go to hell, and now the silence between them was deafening. She hated how much it hurt. Noah was supposed to be different, but maybe he was just another rich guy who saw her as a stereotype. A shadow fell over her desk. Tamia stood there, arms crossed, her glossy lips curled in a smirk. "Rough week, Princess," she said loud enough for the whole floor to hear. "Heard your boyfriend dumped you. Guess even millionaires get ghosted." Dylan, lounging nearby, chuckled. "Yeah, Zara, what's the deal? Thought you were buying your way to the top. Noah, figure out you're a fraud." Chloe, phone in hand, was filming her giggles like nails on a chalkboard. "This is peak content. Hashtag fake ass heiress. Spill, Zara. How's it feel to crash and burn?" Zara's fingers froze on her keyboard. She wanted to snap to tell them to shove their phones and their bullshit where the sun didn't shine, but she'd learned that reacting only fueled their fire. "Y'all must be bored," she said, voice flat, turning back to her screen. "Find a hobby." Tamia leaned closer, her perfume choking. "Keep acting all high and mighty, Zara. You're not untouchable. We'll see how long you last." She strutted off Dylan and Chloe, trailing their laughter echoing like a bad omen. Zara exhaled, her hands shaking. She wasn't just fighting for her job anymore, she was fighting for her sanity. She'd left her mother's empire to prove she could stand on her own, but with every jab, every deleted file, that dream felt further away. The retaliation escalated at lunch. Zara stepped away for 10 minutes to grab a coffee from the break room, and when she returned, a can of Pepsi had been accidentally knocked over, soaking her keyboard and a stack of printed reports. Soda dripped onto the floor, pooling like blood. Chloe was nearby, filming her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Oops. Zara, looks like you're cleaning up again. Hashtag office janitor." Dylan leaned over his cubicle wall, grinning. "Damn, Princess, you're cursed. Maybe it's time to quit and go back to your penthouse." Tamia, pretending to check her nails, didn't look up. "Yeah, Zara, this ain't your scene. Stop embarrassing yourself." Zara's blood boiled. She'd taken their shit for months. But this was different. Personal, calculated, a public humiliation meant to break her. She grabbed the empty can, her voice low and dangerous. "Try that again, Chloe, and I'll make you choke on this damn can." The bullpen went quiet, heads turning. Chloe's phone wavered, her smirk faltering. Dylan coughed, looking away. Tamia's eyes narrowed, but she didn't speak. Zara tossed the can into the trash, grabbed paper towels, and started cleaning, her hands steady, but her heart racing. She'd crossed a line, and she knew it. By 2 p.m., she was called to the CEO's office. Carl, a gruff man with a permanent scowl, sat behind his desk, flipping through a file. "Thompson," he said, not looking up. "I heard about the soda incident. You threatening co-workers now? Zara's stomach dropped. Sir, they've been harassing me for weeks. Spilling drinks, deleting files, filming me. Carl cut her off. I don't care who started it. You're on thin ice. One more incident and you're out. Understood? Zara nodded, her throat tight. Yes, sir. As she left, she saw Tamia in the hallway smirking like she'd won the lottery. Zara's fists clenched, but she kept walking. She wasn't giving them the satisfaction of seeing her crack. That evening, Zara sat at Sweet Heat Keisha's Midtown Bakery, nursing a sweet tea and a bruised ego. Keisha was behind the counter boxing up cupcakes for a customer, but her eyes kept flicking to Zara. Girl, you look like you're planning a murder, Keisha said, sliding into the booth across from her. What's the deal? Office drama or Noah drama? Both, Zara muttered, stirring her tea. She told Keisha about the Pepsi incident, Carl's warning, and Noah's silence. I thought he was different, Kay. But he bought Serena's bullshit without even asking me. And work, it's a damn war zone. Keisha leaned back, her braids swinging. Okay. First, screw those office clowns. They're jealous 'cause you're smarter than all their asses combined. Second, Noah. He messed up, but he's human. You gonna let one fight end it, or you gonna talk to him? Zara sighed. I don't know, Kay. I'm trying to keep my head above water, and he's just another wave. Keisha smirked, tossing her a cupcake. Eat this and stop overthinking. You're Zara Thompson, badass heiress turned rebel. You got this. Zara managed a laugh, but her heart wasn't in it. As she left the bakery, her phone buzzed. A text from Jaden Caldwell, Noah's brother. Yo, Zara, Noah's in a bad way. Check on him. He's at his place 9 p.m. Zara hesitated. She was still pissed, but Jaden's words from the club echoed, he's been burned before. Maybe Noah deserved a chance to explain. Noah's penthouse in downtown Atlanta was all sleek lines and floor-to-ceiling windows, the city's lights sprawling below like a neon dream. Zara stood in the elevator, her stomach in knots, wearing jeans and a hoodie to keep it real. When Noah opened the door, she almost didn't recognize him. His eyes were bloodshot, his shirt untucked, a half-empty whiskey glass in his hand. The confident millionaire was gone, replaced by a man on the edge. Zara, he said, his voice rough. Didn't think you'd come. She crossed her arms, staying in the doorway. Jaden said you're falling apart. Figured I'd see for myself. Noah laughed a bitter sound and gestured her inside. The penthouse smelled of leather and regret, a news channel muted on the TV. EcoSpark's in deep shit, he said, sinking onto a leather couch. Someone leaked docs saying I'm skimming funds from our charity arm. Investors are pulling out. I'm fucked. Zara's heart softened, but she kept her guard up. That's rough, Noah, but why am I here? Last I checked, you think I'm a scheming rich girl. He winced, setting the glass down. I fucked up, Zara. Serena got in my head. My ex, she played me, used my money, my name. When Serena said you were buying data, I panicked. But I know you're not her. I'm sorry. Zara's throat tightened. She wanted to forgive him to bridge the gap, but the hurt was still raw. You didn't trust me, Noah. You saw a spoiled heiress just like everyone else. I'm trying to be more than that, and you made me feel like shit. He stood, stepping closer, his eyes pleading. I see you, Zara. The real you, the one who saves my brother's dumbass at a club, who calls out bullshit in a boardroom. I'm an idiot, but I'm not giving up on you. Her pulse raced, his closeness stirring something she wasn't ready to name. But before she could speak, her phone buzzed. A work email from an anonymous account. Check the shared drive. You'll see who's really screwing Apex. Attached was a screenshot of Tamia's login, time-stamped, deleting Zara's report. Zara's blood ran cold. She showed Noah the email. "This is Serena's doing, isn't it? She's working with Tamia to tank us both." Noah's jaw clenched, but his voice was slurred heavy with whiskey. "Maybe. But what's the point, Zara? I'm done. Leave my sorry ass alone." Zara's heart broke not for herself, but for him. She wanted to stay to fight, but his words stung. "Fine," she said, voice steady. "But I'm not done. I'm finding out who's behind this, with or without you." She left the elevator ride down a blur. Back at her apartment, she opened her laptop, digging into the shared drive. Hours later, she found it a trail of emails between Serena and Tamia, plotting to leak EcoSpark's docs and frame Zara for data theft. Her hands shook as she forwarded the evidence to a lawyer friend, CCing Carl. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about justice. As dawn broke over Atlanta, Zara stared out her window, the city waking up. Her mother's voice echoed, "Come home, Zara." But she wasn't going back. Not now. Not ever. The Apex Pulse boardroom in Buckhead was a pressure cooker on Friday morning. The glass walls reflecting Atlanta's golden sunrise, like a stage set for judgment. Zara Thompson stood at the head of the table, her curls pulled into a sleek bun, her thrift store blouse swapped for a tailored black blazer that screamed quiet power. Her heart pounded, but her hands were steady as she plugged her laptop into the projector. Today wasn't just another meeting. It was a reckoning. The room was packed, Carl the CEO with his perpetual scowl, Greg the assistant clutching his latte, a dozen executives in crisp suits, and of course Tamia Foster, Dylan Harper, and Chloe Nguyen sitting smugly in the back. Serena Holt was there too, her blonde bob flawless, her smirk sharp enough to cut glass. Noah Bennett sat near the front, his dark eyes locked on Zara, a mix of worry and hope in his gaze. After their fight at his penthouse, his whiskey-soaked dismissal, and her discovery of Serena and Tamia's scheme, Zara hadn't spoken to him. But today, she wasn't here for Noah. She was here to end this war. Carl cleared his throat. "Thompson, you called this meeting. Better be worth our time." Zara nodded, her voice calm but firm. "It will be." She clicked her laptop and an email chain flashed on the screen, messages between Serena and Tamia, time-stamped detailing their plan to leak EcoSpark's charity documents and frame Zara for stealing Apex Pulse data. The room went still, the only sound Greg's latte hitting the table, splashing everywhere. "Here's the truth," Zara said, her eyes sweeping the room. "Tamia deleted my reports to sabotage me. Serena used her access to leak EcoSpark's files, trying to tank Noah's company and pin it on me. They thought I'd break. They thought wrong." Tamia's face drained of color, her glossy lips parting in a silent gasp. "That's bullshit," she sputtered, standing. "She's lying, Carl. She's just mad. We called out her rich girl act." Dylan shifted his tie, crooked. "Yeah, she's making this up. No way we—" "Sit down." Zara snapped her voice like a whip. She clicked again, showing login records from the shared drive, Tamia's username tied to the deleted files. Another slide displayed Serena's encrypted emails cracked by Zara's lawyer friend. "You both thought you were slick, but I'm better." Serena laughed, a brittle sound. "This is cute, Zara, but you're out of your depth. You think a few screenshots prove anything? I'm untouchable." Zara tilted her head, her smile cold. "Untouchable. Tell that to the board when they see your bank records, Serena. You got a nice little payment from EcoSpark's competitor last month. Want to explain that?" The room erupted in whispers. Carl's scowl deepened, his eyes narrowing at Serena. Noah leaned forward, his jaw tight, but he stayed silent, letting Zara take the lead. Chloe's phone was down her face, pale. Dylan muttered "fuck" under his breath. Carl stood, his voice booming. "Holt, Foster, Harper, and Nguyen out. You're suspended pending investigation. Security's waiting." He turned to Zara, a grudging nod. "Thompson, good work. Don't make a habit of this." As security escorted Tamia, Dylan, Chloe, and Serena out, Tamia shot Zara a look of pure venom. "This isn't over, princess," she hissed. Serena's heels clicked defiantly, but her smirk was gone. Chloe clutched her phone like a lifeline, and Dylan just looked defeated. The door slammed shut, and the room exhaled. Zara unplugged her laptop, her hands shaking now that the adrenaline was fading. She'd done it, exposed the snake, saved her job, and protected Noah's company. But as she packed up, Noah approached, his voice low. "Zara," he said, "I need to talk to you. Outside." She met his eyes, her heart a tangle of hope and hurt. "Fine," she said, brushing past him. "But you better have something worth hearing." Outside in the Apex Pulse parking lot, Atlanta's skyline shimmered under a hazy noon sun. Zara leaned against her beat-up Honda, arms crossed, as Noah stood in front of her, his navy blazer open, his tie loose. He looked like a man who'd been through hell and back, but his eyes were clear, no trace of last night's whiskey. "I was a damn idiot," he said, his southern drawl thick with regret. "I let Serena's lies get in my head, and I hurt you. You saved my company, Zara, and more than that, you saved me. I don't deserve it, but I'm asking for a chance to make this right." Zara's throat tightened. She wanted to stay mad to protect herself, but Noah's sincerity cracked her armor. "You doubted me, Noah," she said, voice soft but firm. "I've been fighting to be seen as more than a Thompson, and you made me feel like nothing." He stepped closer, his hand hovering near hers, but not touching. "I see you, Zara. The woman who outsmarts everyone, who fights for what's right, who makes me laugh even when I'm falling apart. I'm sorry, and I'm all in if you'll have me." Her pulse raced, his words sinking deep. She looked into his eyes, seeing the man who'd shared catfish and outcast stories, who'd trusted her enough to let her see him broken. "You're on thin ice, Bennett," she said, a small smile tugging at her lips. "But I'm not done with you yet." He grinned, relief flooding his face. "Good. 'Cause I'm not letting you go, Thompson." That night, Noah invited Zara to his penthouse, not for a grand gesture, but for something simpler. Dinner, just the two of them. Zara hesitated, but agreed, needing a break from the chaos. When she arrived, the penthouse was warm, the city lights twinkling through the windows, the air smelling of garlic and something burning. She found Noah in the kitchen, cursing, as smoke curled from a pan of catfish. "Shit!" he yelped, waving a dish towel. "I swear I'm not this bad at cooking," Zara burst out laughing, the tension of the week melting away. "Oh my God, Bennett, you're a disaster." She grabbed a spatula, nudging him aside. "Move before you burn this place down." They salvaged the meal catfish, slightly charred cornbread passable, and settled on the couch with plates and a bottle of sweet tea. The TV played a muted rerun of Martin, but they barely noticed, lost in conversation. Noah told her about his mom's fight in tech, how her resilience shaped him. Zara opened up about her mother's empire, her choice to walk away, the weight of proving herself. "I thought hiding who I was would make it easier," she said, setting her plate down. "But it just made me a target. I'm done hiding, Noah. I'm Zara Thompson, and I'm enough." He looked at her, his eyes soft but intense. "You're more than enough. You're a damn force, Zara." The air shifted, charged with something new. Noah set his glass down, moving closer. The firelight from the nearby hearth danced on Zara's skin, her breath catching as he reached for her hand. "I'm all in, Zara," he said, his voice low. "Rich or not, hiding or shining. I want you." Her heart pounded, the world narrowing to his touch, his warmth. She leaned in, closing the gap, and their lips met in a kiss that was slow, deep, electric. His hands found her waist, pulling her closer, and she melted into him, the fire's glow wrapping them in a cocoon of heat and certainty. For the first time in months, Zara felt seen, not as an heiress, not as a target, but as herself. When they pulled back breathless, Noah grinned. Damn Thompson, you're gonna ruin me. She laughed, swatting his arm. Shut up, Bennett. You're already a mess. The next morning, Zara woke in her apartment, the memory of Noah's kiss lingering like a good dream. She checked her email, finding a message from Carl Thompson. You're cleared. Keep up the good work. A weight lifted, but another lingered her mother. Lillian had left a voicemail. I'm proud of you, Zara, but we need to talk about your future. Zara didn't call back. Instead, she met Keisha at Sweet Heat for breakfast, spilling everything over coffee and cupcakes. Keisha's eyes widened at the boardroom story. Girl, you took those bitches down. And Noah, you better lock that man up before I do. Zara laughed, but her mind was on the voicemail. Mama's still pushing me to take over Thompson Enterprises. I don't know, Kay. I fought so hard to be my own person. But what if she's right? Keisha leaned forward, her voice firm. Lee, you're building your own legacy. You don't need her empire to shine. You're already a damn star. Zara nodded, a fire kindling inside her. She wasn't just an analyst or an heiress. She was Zara Thompson, and she was ready to redefine what that meant. But as she left the bakery, a news alert pinged on her phone. EcoSpark cleared of charges, thanks to anonymous tip. She smiled, knowing her evidence had worked. Noah was safe, and so was she. For now. Piedmont Park was alive under Atlanta's late September sun, a vibrant tapestry of food trucks, R&B beats, and laughter. The inaugural event for the Thompson Bennett Foundation, a nonprofit Zara Thompson and Noah Bennett had launched to support black women in tech, drew hundreds from tech bros in hoodies to families with kids chasing balloons. The air smelled of fried chicken and hope, a stage at the center pulsing with music and purpose. Zara stood backstage, her heart racing, her black blazer sharp against the festival's colorful chaos. Today wasn't just about the foundation. It was about claiming her place not as a Thompson Enterprises heiress, but as Zara, the woman who'd fought for every inch of her worth. The past week had been a whirlwind. After Zara's boardroom takedown of Serena Holt, Tamia Foster, Dylan Harper, and Chloe Nguyen, Apex Pulse had changed. The suspensions were permanent, and Carl, the CEO, had promoted Zara to Director of Data Strategy, a role she'd earned through grit and genius. She'd also launched the Thompson Initiative, an internal program to combat workplace bullying with real teeth. Anonymous reporting, mandatory training, and consequences. The office wasn't perfect, but it was quieter, the venom drained from the bullpen. Noah's company, EcoSpark, was back on track, cleared of false charges thanks to Zara's evidence. He'd thrown himself into the foundation, matching her passion with his own, and their late-night planning sessions had deepened their bond. But one shadow lingered, Lillian Thompson, Zara's mother, who still believed Zara belonged at the helm of Thompson Enterprises. Zara had dodged her calls, but today, Lillian was here, a wild card in Dior heels. Zara adjusted her mic, glancing at Noah, who was chatting with a reporter nearby. His navy suit hugged his frame, his grin easy, but his eyes fixed on her like she was the only person in the park. He'd been her rock since the penthouse night, the kiss that sealed their commitment. But Zara knew today's event would test everything. Keisha Turner pushed through the crowd, her pink apron swapped for a sparkly jumpsuit, a tray of cupcakes in hand. Lee, you're killing it, Keisha said, thrusting a red velvet cupcake at her. This foundation badass. But you look nervous as shit. What's up, Zara? Laughed, taking the cupcake. Mama's here, Kay. She's gonna push me to take over the company again. And I'm not sure I'm ready to fight that battle. Keisha's eyes narrowed. Girl, you took down a whole-ass conspiracy at work. You can handle your mama. Be you, Zara. That's enough. Before Zara could reply, Jaden Caldwell bounded over his dreads, bouncing a grin, splitting his face. Yo, Zara, this event is lit. I'm DJing later, and I got a special track for you and Noah, gonna call it Millionaire Love Story. He winked, dodging as Zara swatted him. "Shut up, Jaden," she said, but her smile was real. Jaden's chaos had grown on her, and his support meant more than she'd admit. The MC called Zara to the stage, and the crowd roared. She stepped into the spotlight, her voice steady as she spoke. 2 years ago, I walked into an office where I didn't belong, at least that's what they told me. They saw my clothes, my lunch, my silence, and thought I was weak. But I learned something. Strength isn't about money or titles. It's about accountability, empathy, and showing up even when the world's against you. The crowd cheered, phones flashing. Noah stood at the stage's edge, his eyes shining with pride. Zara's heart swelled, but then she saw her mother in the front row. Lillian's face, unreadable, her Dior suit, a stark contrast to the festival's casual vibe. "I started this foundation with Noah Bennett." Zara continued, "Because black women in tech deserve a seat at the table, not as tokens, but as leaders. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being here." The applause was deafening, but as Zara stepped off stage, Lillian approached her heels, clicking like a countdown. The crowd parted, sensing the tension. Noah moved to Zara's side, his hand brushing hers, a silent anchor. "Zara," Lillian said, her voice smooth but firm. "You've done well. I'm proud. But it's time to stop this experiment. Thompson Enterprises needs you. I'm announcing you as my successor today." The crowd murmured, heads turning. Reporters leaned in, cameras flashing. Zara's stomach dropped. This was it, the moment she'd dreaded. She looked at Noah, his jaw tight, then at Keisha, who mouthed, "Do you?" Jaden gave her a thumbs up, oblivious to the stakes. Zara took a deep breath, stepping to the mic. The park went quiet, every eye on her. "Mama," she said, her voice carrying. "I love you. You built an empire, and I'm proud to be your daughter. But I'm not taking it." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lillian's eyes widened, her poise cracking. "I've spent my life under your name trying to prove I'm more than a Thompson. Today I'm doing it. I'm using my own savings, not yours, to start a tech company for black women. My legacy, my rules." The crowd erupted cheers, drowning out the R&B beats. Reporters scrambled, shouting questions. Noah's grin was brighter than the sun, his hand squeezing hers. Keisha whooped, tossing cupcakes into the air. Jaden yelled, "That's my sister-in-law," earning a glare from Zara. Lillian stood frozen, but then slowly a smile broke through, a real one, not her CEO mask. "That's my girl," she said, so soft. Only Zara heard. She stepped forward, hugging Zara tightly, the crowd roaring louder. For the first time, Zara felt her mother's pride, not as an heiress, but as herself. Later, as the festival wound down, Zara and Noah slipped away to the Chattahoochee River, the water shimmering under a crescent moon. The city's neon glow faded behind them, leaving only the hum of crickets and their footsteps on the gravel path. Zara's sneakers were back, her blazer swapped for a hoodie, but she felt taller, like the world had shifted to fit her. Noah walked beside her, his hand brushing hers. "So, Miss CEO," he teased, his southern drawl warm, "you just turned down $1 billion empire to start from scratch. You trying to make me look bad?" Zara laughed, nudging him. "Shut up, Bennett. You're still a millionaire. Keep up or get left behind." He stopped, pulling her close, his eyes locking on hers. "I'm not going anywhere, Zara. You're my kind of chaos, brave, stubborn dope as hell. I'm in for all of it." Her heart raced, the moon painting his face in silver. She leaned in, their lips meeting in a kiss that was soft, then urgent, the river's cool air no match for their heat. His hands cupped her face, her fingers gripping his jacket, and for a moment, Atlanta disappeared. It was just them, two people who'd fought through doubt and drama to find each other. When they pulled back, Zara grinned. Damn, Bennett, you're gonna ruin me. Nah, he set his arm around her waist. We're gonna ruin this city together. They walked on, hand in hand, the Chattahoochee rippling like a promise. Zara thought of the office, the bullies, her mother's empire, and the company she'd build. She'd come to Apex Pulse to prove herself, but she'd found something bigger. A legacy, a love, a life she'd chosen. The screen faded to black bold text flashing. Zara didn't just find love, she built a damn empire. Back at Sweet Heat the next day, Zara sat with Keisha, debriefing over coffee and cupcakes. Girl Keisha said, licking frosting off her fingers, "You turned down $1 billion to start a company. You're a whole-ass legend. I'm crying in my cupcakes." Zara laughed, her heart light. "It's not about the money, Kay. It's about me. I'm done hiding, done proving. I'm just..." "Zara." Keisha raised her coffee. "To Zara, the baddest bitch in Atlanta." Zara clinked her mug, grinning. "Damn right." Her phone buzzed a text from Lillian. "I'm proud, baby. Let's talk soon." Zara smiled, pocketing it. She'd call her mother, but on her terms. Another text came from Noah, "Dinner tonight. No burning the catfish this time." She typed back, "You're on, but I'm cooking. Try not to ruin it." As she left the bakery, Atlanta's skyline gleamed, a city that had tested her and shaped her. Zara walked taller, her sneakers steady, her future bright. She'd fought for her place, and now she was ready to build an empire, not her mother's, but her own. Yo, y'all. Zara just flipped the script and built her own damn empire. From office drama to a game-changing choice, she's a legend. Smash that subscribe button and drop a comment. What shocked you most about Zara's move? Hit that bell so you don't miss our next story. Let's keep this fire burning.